welcome to another weekly reading. My name is Morgana Britt, and as I said in previous videos, I am making these to practice my tarot reading. I consider myself a beginner, so some of the reading will be accurate to some people, some will be accurate to no people. It really just kind of depends on what I'm getting. So just as before, I will be pulling a card for each day of the week and reading it as it reads to me, and then I will follow up with what the Gilded Tarot Companion by Barbara Moore says. So I will pull a card for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So the card for Monday is the King of Swords. This is definitely a new video. We did get the King of Swords last week on Monday, which I find extremely interesting. What I'm getting from the King of Swords is another focus week, another week where you have to stand in your power. It could be just the energy of this month. There are a lot of ones in this month, a lot of starter energy, a lot of energy that says to move forward and to create and build on your foundation. It could be that because of that, that's the energy that every week is starting off. It's a new week, it's a new day, it's Monday, and a lot of people, a lot of the world has this energy of hating Mondays. It's become a commonplace sentiment to wake up on Monday and automatically be miserable. So your challenge this week is to wake up and say that I can stand in my power. Say that you know what you're going to do and what you're going to go after, because it is there for you and it is supporting you. Your strength is there. You just have to pay attention to it. You have to acknowledge it and then move forward. Eventually, I will stop reading from the books, but as I am still trying to get used to these cards, I'm going to go ahead and read this even though I read it last week. Let's see what the book says about the King of Swords. An appealing man half sits on his throne, leaning heavily on his sword. The sword seems to be more support than the throne. He is a charismatic man, exuding confidence, intelligence, and power. Your intelligence is at the core of your persona. You have used it well to create a successful life for yourself and those associated with you. Your wisdom benefits others, and you are comfortable sharing your ideas and opinions. Be aware of letting your intelligence define you in full. Seek a bit more balance in your own self-image and your dealings with others. Be careful, too, of becoming a snob. Your mind is powerful, but if turned inward too much, you may become prone to paranoia. The card for Tuesday is the Empress. I'm getting that Tuesday is a day for you to relax, for you to indulge the nurturing side of your nature. Indulge the loving and caring and gentle side of yourself on this day. Not every day has to be a fire day. Not every day has to be a day of action and movement and excitement. Take the time to think, to chill out, to care for yourself and care for the people around you who need it, or the creatures around you who need to be taken care of. Don't ignore that side of yourself. Don't ignore the softer part of your life and part of your being. Let's see what the book says about the Empress. The Empress follows the High Priestess, just as inspiration is ideally followed by manifestation. Circled by astrological symbols representing the possibilities of life, her red belt and her fiery hair speak of earthly passion and sensuality. Covering her passion, though, is her blue, flowing cloak, representing emotion. A solar system-like necklace hangs near her heart. Her action is largely internal and nurturing, surrounded with feeling. She is the mother archetype from whom all life flows. She holds a circle with a cross, a symbol of the feminine, and also a symbol of the balance of opposites, both the idea and the physical form of the idea. At the most basic level, she is both the epitome of love, and the birth of a life resulting from that love. The message of the Empress is that of creation and passion. You are in a position to nurture and give birth to a project. Tap into the energy of Mother Earth and celebrate her gifts. Recognize, honor, and celebrate your senses, the physical world, and nature. Be aware of maintaining a healthy balance. Do not let your emotions or actions become obsessive or controlling, and do not allow a chaotic proliferation by trying to do too much. A garden needs careful and loving cultivation. Too much or too little upsets the delicate balance of beauty. The card for Wednesday is Strength. When I see this card, I feel like it's saying there's something you're going to need to be strong in the face of. So be aware on Wednesday of anything that may upset your resolve or may make whatever it is you're trying to do seem 1,000 times harder. You have to stand in that and know that whatever it is waiting for you. Your victory is there. The woman in the image is holding the chain that's, I don't know if you can see, but it is wrapped around the lion. It's peeking from the lion's mane, and the woman has the other end of the chain in her hand. What that says to me is that you have the control. Whatever may come against you or may seem to be a wall or seem just a little more difficult, it's all in your hands. Your life is yours. And you have what it takes to steer it in the right direction. You have what it takes to gain whatever it is you're reaching for. You just have to be strong and take the reins. You have to take control. Let's see what the book says about strength. A woman with a great sense of purpose walks side by side with a lion. There is a chain wrapped loosely around the lion's neck and held just as loosely in the woman's hand. The lion is the woman's animal instincts. These instincts neither lead her nor are they dragged along behind her. They are there, a reserve of strength, power, and courage for whenever she should have need of them. The message of strength reminds you that you have more strength, power, and courage than you realize. Learn to live easily with these gifts and use them when appropriate. Be aware of two extremes. Do not let your strength or baser desires control you. Conversely, do not deny your own power. The card for Thursday is the Hanging Man. In this image, there is a man hanging by one single ankle from a twisted chain wrapped around a pole ornamented with the sun. I think it's important to see that other than the single chain, he's free. But the question is, if he releases himself from this chain, what next? Will he fall and die? Will he begin to float? Will he realize that he wasn't hanging after all and simply trapped himself? This card to me says that it is time to release something that's been holding you back. That you have something in your life that has made many of the other things that you're doing in your life feel that much more difficult, feel that much more stressing. Because if this thing that's holding you, that you're holding onto yourself, is released, if it releases you, you don't know what could happen. You don't know what's waiting for you. You don't know whether you're going to fall or float. But you have to let yourself be okay with that. Nothing happens when you don't move. Nothing changes when you stay the same, when you hold on to the things that don't serve you, to the things that are dangling you and not actually doing you any good. Nothing changes until you make the changes. Let's see what the book says about the Hanging Man. More than any other figure in the major arcana, the Hanging Man resembles the Fool. By turning himself upside down, by behaving in a manner not consistent with society. The hanging man may be judged a fool by many. The difference between the two is important, though. The hanging man has come through a challenging experience that gives him a sense of peace and understanding that only people who've successfully faced great trials can have. The sun represents his vision of himself and his place in the universe. He may flounder at times, but he knows who he is and from whence he gets his strength. He is willing to sacrifice society's approval in order to be true to himself. The message of the hanging man is knowing when and what to sacrifice. Be clear about who you are and let all your actions and decisions hang from that vision. Even if your actions feel clumsy or out of sync with others, sacrifice their favorable opinion rather than be untrue to yourself. Do not put more stock in what other people think than in what you believe to be right. Be aware of rationalizing bizarre or inappropriate behavior by saying you are just being yourself. Are you really? Or are you looking for an excuse to misbehave while feeling noble about it? The card for Friday is the Devil. This is one of the more simple cards that I've gotten, but it is extremely expressive. The overall tone of this card is red and gold, and that says to me power. What it also says to me is danger. The symbols on this are definitely power, but the man behind the mask, we can't see his eyes, so we don't know his motives. We don't know what secrets he's keeping. We don't know what he has planned for us, but we do know it's probably gonna be hot. And I don't mean hot as in warm, although Friday may be a warm day, I don't know, but I mean it's gonna be Hell's Kitchen hot. It's going to be stress hot. It's going to be a deadline of some sort, or some sort of passionate, exciting event. Something that's going to put you through the ringer. It may make you question what you believe. It may make you question yourself, or the world around you, or someone else that you thought you trusted. There is a secret here. Let's see what the book says about the Devil. Intriguing, powerful, compelling. What a dangerous and attractive figure this is. The mask, while adding to the mysterious allure, warns us that this man is hiding something. He wears a pentacle, giving a hint of his earthiness and sensual pleasures. However, because his eyes are blinded, he pursues these pleasures blindly, without consideration for anything else. He is obsession, bondage, and destructive practices. He is what happens, what we can become, when our lives go very badly out of balance. The message of the Devil is a warning, a cautionary tale. If temperance is perfect balance, perfectly expressed, the Devil is imperfect balance, recklessly pursued. Anything in the extreme, eating, working, sexual activity, exercise, leads to an unbalanced life. Take heed and moderate your behavior. Keep watch for obsessions in your life. Do not let any belief or practice overshadow all other aspects of your life or your responsibilities to yourself and others. Be aware of being so afraid of pleasures out of fear of addiction that you repress or deny all desires, even healthy ones. The card for Saturday is the Eight of Pentacles. What I'm getting from this card is that Saturday will be a day of study, of learning, of understanding. However, it's possible what you're studying is something that you already have more knowledge of than you need, or is something you're using to distract yourself from the outside world. Consider, for example, a person who goes to college over and over and over again for degrees, but never finds a job in any of those, never even uses most of those. This person has this whole wealth of knowledge behind them, but is content to sit in that knowledge. And if you're content, there's nothing wrong with that, but I suggest considering stepping out of your comfort zone. Consider exploring something new that you can use, that will serve you. Consider releasing the things that you've held on to, and I mean things like old clothes and furniture and books and notebooks that you don't use anymore that are half filled. Consider removing the clutter from your life. Really understand what is in your life. Understand the treasures that you already have and make use of them and give them a purpose. Let's see what the book says about the Eight of Pentacles. A lonely apprentice works late into the night on his project. He is focused and determined, perhaps too focused to notice his little companion. Like strength in the major arcana, this young man tamed his baser instincts and desires in order to achieve something greater. Even though he may wish to go out and enjoy himself, he is willing to forego immediate pleasure for the sake of a long-term goal. You are involved in a course of study in preparation for a better future. Your discipline and drive will serve you well. Do take a moment, though, and enjoy some pleasant companionship. Be aware of driving yourself too hard and to the exclusion of all else. Even in the midst of heavy studies, a person needs a little rest and relaxation. The card for Sunday is the World. We have this woman standing triumphant with her batons or wands in her hand. She is strong and she holds on to her power and she moves forward. The world shines gold and beautiful behind her. This tells me that Sunday is the conclusion to another successful week. If you've put in the work necessary for the beginning of this week and you've listened to yourself and your own intuition, you've come out with yet another accomplishment. Another sign that you're taking the right steps. And if not, if you don't feel that you've made any steps this week, ask yourself why. Ask yourself what it is that you did during this week that has led to this unfavorable outcome. Because whatever it is that you're doing, that you're going for, it's there for you. You have the opportunity and you have the capabilities you need to pursue it. And if you are, then this week is going to be another accomplishment for you. This week will be a week with at least one other success, if not more. So keep going. Keep working hard. Let's see what the book says about the world. A woman stands with poise, dignity, and assurance. She stands before the world surrounded by laurel wreaths, indicating her mastery. She holds wands, representing her will, in both hands. Unlike the other figures in the major arcana, her will is in tune with both sides of herself. She has achieved balance of her consciousness and unconsciousness. She celebrates a great accomplishment. For this, she is recognized by the world and, more importantly, by her own self. The message of the world is that of completion and accomplishment. You feel a sense of unity with the universe and mastery over self that is natural and effortless. You move to the rhythm of nature and of your heart. They are one. Be aware of a false sense of security. In theory, the world represents total completion. However, in our human lives, this is never really achieved. But because we are human still, we can achieve only partial or temporary oneness. These temporary or partial experiences encourage us to keep growing and move forward, if for no other reason than to experience that exquisite moment of freedom and understanding again. Thank you all so much for joining me this week. That concludes our weekly tarot reading for the week of January 15th to January 21st. Please let me know what you think in the comments. If you like this video, click the button below and hit subscribe so that you can catch my tarot updates every week. Thank you so much again. Remember always that I love you. Bye.